Hello, everybody. This is Kia McClain, and I am a contributor to Lucky Magazine, also the founder of Styler Chick TV. And today we have Aaron Curry with us as our guest. And he has written a great book that I think that every one of you should read, especially if you're single. So I am going to pass it on over to Aaron so he has a chance to introduce himself to you guys.
Hi, how's everybody doing? Again, my name's Aaron Curry, originally from a suburb outside of Columbus, Ohio. We spent the majority of my years there, but I moved out to LA about 4.5 years ago, so I've been here, for quite some time. I can call this home as well. I'm single, hence the "This Is Why You're Single," title for the book. I've, no kids. Recently turned 28. First couple months I found myself out here. I did some acting for Tyler Perry on House of Payne. And, I do music, work out regularly, and that's about it.
Okay, and to all of our guests that are tuning in, I have to apologize. On Aaron's end, his building decided to do a fire drill today.
Yes, I'm all
So,
day.
so we'll have some interesting background noises going on today. So I apologize for that. And so we are going to go ahead and get into the interview again. This is Kia McClain, and this is a topic that we see going around and around the internet, TV, just about everywhere. Everyone is talking about relationships, and I really wanted to do this interview to kind of give you guys a grounded view versus what you may hear out there in the media. You have your Kim Kardashians and Kanye West and everyone weighing in, but I really wanted to give you guys a solid, down-to-earth viewpoint about relationships and really a good positive conversation going about the topic. So with that said, we are going to get into the interview and ask Aaron here why you are still single.
Of course, that is the first question. I'm still single because I feel self-sufficient and self-fulfilled with myself. A lot of people are searching for someone to make themselves happy, and I'm happy with myself. And if you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror and you're not happy with that person you see, how can you possibly make someone else happy? So, I'm single. I have no kids. I feel like, I'm not really missing out on too much until I find someone that, it happens organically and naturally, and they can add another layer of happiness to myself. I already have that happiness, but if they can add another layer to that, then, I'll remain single until that happens. But I'm not going to force anything. I feel like it'll happen when it's supposed to, and I have a very good relationship and foundation with my faith in God. So I think He'll put that right person in front of me when the time happens. But until then, I'll keep the singles alive right now.
Okay, awesome. Now, in your opinion, what do you feel a relationship is with that said?
Sure, that's a great question, Kia. I feel like a real relationship consists of three things, and I always tell my friends this: a foundation of love, trust, and loyalty. To your question, some people don't really know what a real relationship is, but to me, a relationship is an emotional connection and physical attraction that you have with someone, and you're basically trying to cultivate that and develop it into something further. So, that's my ideology behind it.
Awesome. And do you think that relationships are defined differently by people based on their experiences?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They can be defined negatively or positively. If someone, was in a domestically abusive relationship, or if they were cheated on, or they have trust issues and things of that nature, then obviously they're going to have a skewed relationship, or idea of relationships. But if someone else has had, positive relationships and they just haven't worked out, such as myself, I've had some great relationships with women, but I don't have a negative, association with relationships. I'm single by choice. So it's absolutely going to be defined by, what people feel and what people have experienced, within themselves. So, absolutely.
Yes, definitely. That is a very, very important point So, with that said, when do you feel it's appropriate to discuss the topic with a potential date to get their perspective on what a relationship is? Because definitely, with the different viewpoints coming in, it can lead to lead to problems with the relationship if you're not on the same page.
Absolutely. Again, another great question. I think the perfect time to discuss the topic is when you realize you have substantial feelings for that person. Um, when you think of that person and the indication is there that there's a mutual interest, you can start to bring that topic up. And I actually have a chapter in my book called Baby Steps. And I think there are 3 steps that everyone should take. They're the appropriate steps, in my opinion. And that's talking, dating, and then being in a committed relationship. In the talking stage, you're just getting to know that person, the likes and dislikes, that each of you guys have. When you're dating, you can begin to define those boundaries and, ask more intimate questions, and you're getting to know that person on a more intimate, whatnot level. But then you have the third stage, which is being in a committed relationship, and that's when you can have those definitive boundaries and say, hey, we're monogamous, we're only seeing each other, things of that nature. But you have to take the appropriate steps. A lot of people like to just rush and jump into something so that they have that title and they feel that they have that, that commitment once they have a title, but that's not necessarily the case. You have to, take those baby steps and take the appropriate ones.
Yes, definitely. I don't definitely would not suggest 0 to 60 just like that.
Right.
Um, so those are definitely great points. So going back to your book, you emphasize that there's a need to know and to respond to what the person that you're in a relationship with needs or wants. And how do
Sure.
you feel it is best to really fulfill those needs without losing sight of what you need and what you want on a personal level as well?
Right, that's a good kind of question. I think that one of the things to do is to date someone that has some of the same characteristics and motivations as yourself. If you date someone and you guys are involved with, you're involved with someone that has like-minded and similar characteristics, then you're going to have the same type of hobbies and activities and interests. If you're dating someone that's deep in their career, then they'll understand when you don't have the time to, go to the movies or watch Scandal Thursday night at 9. So you have to date someone that's similar, and a lot of people say opposites attract, but I want someone that's similarly aligned to me. That way, we're parallel, we're on the same path, and we're not, someone's not going this way and I'm going this way, and we're veering away from each other. We're going in the same direction, so that there's no, miscommunication there. Then you won't have that, that problem that will arise where someone has another interest, this person has another interest. You find the same likes, you'll be good to go.
Yes, yes, definitely. I think that's one of the most erroneous things that I've ever heard out there about relationships is
Right.
the whole opposites attract and you should find
Hmm.
someone opposite, and I really don't even know where it came from, but definitely thank you for setting the record straight on that note because so many
Absolutely.
people, I think that's a huge confusion point for a lot of people with that point trying to make it work, and you just can't. It's a very hard road to take.
Correct.
So then, what advice do you have for those who read your book
Hmm.
and there are a couple of chapters in or about halfway through your book, and then they realize that they may not be in the best situation for themselves?
Sure. I think that people need to at that moment you need to analyze and reevaluate the situation you're in, because everyone has a choice, and it's up to you to make the appropriate choice and learn from that choice. But you can't stay in a situation just out of convenience, and I think a lot of men and women in today's society do that. So you have to reevaluate the situation. If you're not happy, you're not happy. But and this is why you're single. I give solutions to those problems. So if you read the book, you'll see that, yeah, I might say what I've gone through and what I learned from it and what a woman might have done that I didn't like or what I did that she didn't like. But above and beyond that, there's a solution. So, you need to find the solution to the problem and not just stay in it out of convenience or out of fear. You need to
Hmm.
find the resolve and then move on and move forward.
Okay, awesome. And then for those people that get to that point, are kind of the turning point in the book where they have to do that evaluation, moving on from there to continue through your book, what do you think is the best way for them to approach an open and honest communication as far as their relationship is concerned, or
Sure.
starting to implement some of what they're reading in your book?
Well, that's in my opinion. I think the best route for that is by asking direct questions. So if you ask someone a question and they try to avoid it or they're dismissive, then your communication isn't at its best. And there's actually a chapter called the infamous W's where I kind of highlight that and bring credence to that. You know, a lot of people like to ask the defining question or the qualifying question, why? And
Mhm.
I say that you should ask somebody, you know, who, what, when, where. Because if you ask somebody why, if you say, why did you go to the store? They're going to say, I went to the store to get a couple things. But if you ask
Mhm.
someone, what did you go to the store for? Well, they have to be more direct and say, well, I went to the store to get cookies and milk and water or whatever the case may be. So it's asking the appropriate qualifying question so that you have the right type of line of communication. You know, you should be able to trust the person that you're in a relationship with, and I think that's one of the biggest problems today is that your people don't trust who they're with.
Mhm.
So how can you have open communication and talk about things if you don't even trust them with the information or knowledge that you're giving them? So you have to feel comfortable talking to the person you're with. And if you're not, then again, you need to reevaluate the situation.
Yes, definitely. You hit on a great point about the trust.
Sure.
Now, um, I'm sure that you've heard this around, but there are some people that have like a happiness check every 6 months or so. And
Sure.
um, do you think it's healthy for a relationship to have that time throughout where someone is saying, okay, well, it's been 6 months, it's been however many months, are you happy? And
hmm
um, do you feel that being put into that situation, where it's kind of like this quota time to check on happiness, puts
Sure.
pressure on couples to say what the other person or what they think the other person wants to hear?
hmm Well, to me, that sounds more like a business relationship than a relationship. And you know, one of the things I touch base on, this is why you're single, is moments versus milestones. And I feel like a lot of people like to celebrate a milestone as opposed to a moment. Me personally, I like to celebrate the moments, live in the moment with that person, the happiness that we have right then and there, because tomorrow isn't promised, and that milestone you're trying to reach, you might not even have the opportunity to reach. So it shouldn't take 6 months for you to determine and realize that you're not happy with the person you're with or the situation you're in. You know, it's domestic violence month. If someone's in a domestically abusive relationship, are they supposed to wait 6 months to check their happiness? Or if they realize, right away that this is not a healthy or safe situation, get out. If it's working, it's working. But if it's not, it's not. I think it's a lot more simple than people lead on to. But you can't do happiness checks. If you're happy day to day, great. But you can't wait 6 months or a year to do a check. I don't agree with that.
Yes, definitely. It's definitely an interesting concept people have, that have these different cutoff dates as to
Sure.
where the relationship should be. Um, so then, with that said, what advice do you have to make these challenging conversations easier for couples? Because I feel like maybe some of the happiness checks, or the 3 months or 6 months or
Mhm.
however many months, is really kind of a mask
Sure.
for not having that communication factor, or not feeling comfortable having those conversations that may be a little bit challenging and put you on the spot as to where are we at, where are we going, type of deal.
Sure. And I think a lot of people don't pay attention to the signs from the onset of a relationship. You know, you have to make sure you choose someone in a relationship that listens to you from the onset. And if you choose people that listen, then you'll choose people that care, and you'll choose someone that likes you for you. You can't expect to have an easy conversation if you're not clicking with someone from the get go. If they're not someone that listens to you. Effective
Mhm.
communication and effective listening are huge in a relationship, and if you don't have those, you really don't have a relationship. So you have to have someone that is willing to listen and is willing to listen to you and hear you out and hear your viewpoint and how you feel, and they have to care how you feel.
Yes, yes, most definitely. So, with that said, what things do you feel must exist in order to have a healthy and balanced relationship?
Well, that goes back to your initial question of what do I feel a relationship is, and to have a healthy foundation, you have to have trust, love, and respect. Without those three things, you don't really have a relationship. If you have trust, then you'll have open communication, and that's the other large aspect of a relationship. So you have to have trust, love, and respect. Trust, love, and loyalty are those important aspects in any relationship to have a healthy one. So you
Mm-hmm.
know. hmm And another thing I like to tell people, there's three things that I tell my friends. One is define the right you. The other one is never settle. And the third one is baby steps. And I give all of my friends the same advice. If you define the right you, as I was saying earlier, and you're happy with yourself, then you can make someone else happy. If you're you don't want to settle, but if you haven't defined the right you, then more often than not you're going to settle because you don't have the value and self-worth in yourself. So you're settling thinking, okay, well, this is the best I can get, so I'm just
Mm-hmm.
going to settle with this person and try to make it work. But you don't want to settle. And if you haven't defined the right you, then oftentimes you're going to settle. And then the third one is baby steps, as I was saying earlier. You want to take the appropriate steps so that you're doing things in the right chronological order and not going zero, as you said, to 60, within 3 or 4 seconds. You have to
Mm-hmm.
take the appropriate time and do things the right way so that, everything happens as it's supposed to. The cards are laid out the way they need to be, and, everything falls in order, in the appropriate order.
Awesome. Now, have you, with all the advice that you're giving and kind of like the baby steps, have you considered turning this book into a series as you yourself continue to live and learn and grow?
Absolutely. From the day I finished the last page, the very next day I was working on it. So yes, that's already in the process. I'm very excited. I've been getting great feedback on this first project. That I did with Seraph Books, which is a phenomenal publishing company. I mean, within 48 hours, they helped me hit number 3 on Amazon's bestseller. I hit number 1 on the hot new release list. So with everything that's happening, then yeah, I'm definitely already en route to go to the next step, the next project and whatnot.
Awesome, and definitely many congratulations on all of your success as an author. I
Thank
know
you.
personally it's not easy to start on one path and then completely turn to a different path,
Sure.
and then just to have that success is definitely a blessing.
Thank you.
Um, Definitely shows that you're on the right path as well.
Well, I hope to continue down that path, Kia. Thank you so much.
No problem. Now, speaking of relationships that are not really like romance based, I
hmm
think that you have formed some great relationships with some of the most powerful men in entertainment, such as Tyrese, Tyler Perry.
Sure.
And how important do you think it is to have a great mentor overall?
Oh, it's absolutely imperative. You have to have a mentor, have to have someone that teaches you and that you look up to. So Tyrese is like a big brother to me. What a great example to have. He's putting so much positivity out there with his videos on Facebook and the ideas that he's giving and sharing to people for free. I think that's amazing. And then to work with Tyler Perry, that's invaluable. So it was amazing to cultivate that relationship with him and work on set with him. He's an amazing person. But to talk to the point of having a mentor, my mother is responsible for teaching me how to love and respect women. So I look at her as a very strong, foundation of the positivity that I have in my life. But to take it a step further, the relationship that I have with God, if you have that, you'll be unstoppable. Whatever your faith is, whatever you believe in, as long as you have that faith and believe in something, then you're gonna have a great outlook on life. And God is who I try to please. So I look at him as my true mentor. Absolutely.
Awesome. So, just to step back into that question a little bit more, there are several people that don't have that mentor type of figure in their lives that can kind of set them on the right path, or they can see that they're veering off. And I guess what advice would you have for those people that haven't found that person that they can go to, or have that influence in their lives yet.
Well, sure. I would say 9 times out of 10, that person's right in front of them. Sometimes they're just not looking in the right area, or they're in such a bad place that they're not really able to see that person's lending a hand and trying to help them. And you have to be willing to accept that help. But again, I'll circle back to what I was saying earlier. Having that foundation and faith with God, or with
Hmm.
whatever your faith is going to help you, because that's going to pull you through whatever type of situation you're in, whatever type of negativities in your life. If you have faith, it will help get you through that. And then that faith, whatever, whomever it may be, for me it's God, will help you get through that problem, and you'll be okay.
Awesome. I definitely wholeheartedly agree with that. Now, going back to the point of mentors,
Hmm.
and Tyrese and Tyler Perry, they have been huge about speaking about relationships. And
Sure.
did either one of them help to influence your decision to write this book?
Actually, the vision came about from conversations that I've had with friends, people that have asked me advice, and then the conversation I had with my mother. She called me about 6, 7 months ago, I want to say, 4 a.m. my time, because she's in Ohio. Didn't care about the time difference. Woke me up, and she was telling me, she said, "Son, I think you need to write a book." And I was like, "About what, Mom?" And she said, "About relationships." And I was like, kind of chuckled, because I didn't know if she was joking or being, serious, facetious, whatever. And she was dead serious. So I said, "Okay." Well, she said, "You know what? Every time I come out to visit you, your friends are there, or calling you, asking for relationship advice, or coming by, and I see you talking and mentoring and giving people this great advice. Why not put it in book form so you can share your vision and your thoughts with the world?" So that's what I did. I wanted to put it into a form so that I can help people. That's the biggest fulfillment I can get, is giving my advice, sharing with people, and then seeing them take that and mold it into positivity or a better situation for them. So that's where it came about.
Awesome. Definitely. It sounds like your mom has been a great influence.
Absolutely, she has. Yeah, my mom is amazing. She's the best mother in the world, and I have so many of my friends that call her mom too. I'm like, hold on, that's my mom, but
Yes.
everybody wants to call her mom, so I'm like, well, that's a compliment. So I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's great to have a mother that is just a mother to everyone. So,
Sure.
yes, definitely. And then on that note, I guess, what has she been whispering in your ear lately, or what more exciting things can we expect to see coming from you in the future?
Well, I love my writing, so I'm not going to stop doing that. I'm going to keep pursuing my music as well, and acting. I'm going to continue doing the things that I love. I'm a creative person, so I'm going to keep creating for people, and then
Hmm.
hopefully they love it as much as I do. But yeah, I'm going to keep being creative. I have an exciting life, so I'm going to continue down that path and see whatever God, whatever path and whatever road He wants me to take. I'm going to take that road and do what I need to do. But I'm just having fun right now, and hopefully changing lives along the way. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best thing to do. If you're going to do something, it should be something that you love and that you have
Yep.
fun
Yes,
doing.
yes.
So, most definitely. Now, circling back around to your book before we end the broadcast, you mentioned that it was on Amazon. If
Correct.
anyone watching wants to purchase your book, where else can they go to find it?
Like you said, Amazon.com. Type in "This Is Why You're Single." It will pop right up. You can go to iTunes. You can go to Kobo. You can go to Barnes and Nobles. You can go to my personal website, which is aaronlamont.com. That's AARONLAMONT.com. You can find it anywhere. I mean, if you go to my Facebook, it's Aaron Lamont. If you go to Instagram or Twitter, my handle is I am Mr. AC. That's IAMMRAC, and I'm everywhere. You'll find it. The links are there. So yeah, seek me out if you have any questions. I would love to engage in conversation with anybody.
Okay, awesome. So definitely thank you for being a guest with us today.
Thank you for
Definitely
having me.
you've given all of our viewers a lot to chew on and a lot to think about. And I'm really happy to have been able to help you to get that message out to maybe a different audience, and get them into looking into the book and seeing what all you have to say about it. So definitely, if you guys have not been convinced yet to go out and get this book, and you're single and you're sitting there asking at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night on Facebook, why am I still single? You
Yes,
need to go out and get this book.
this book
There
right
it
here.
is.
My baby sister actually did the cover. I've gotten a lot of compliments on this cover. Alyssa Curry, my sister, did it. She's so phenomenal. So, yeah, just wanted to throw that in there as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, definitely thank you for coming on. Definitely, if you have any other releases coming, definitely we want to see you again. And this is Kia McClain with Lucky Magazine, also founder of Styler Chick TV. And thank you to Aaron for coming on today.
Thank
Again,
you. Appreciate
go
it.
to his website and get the book if you're still asking why I'm single. And we are signing off. We'll see you guys later.
Bye, Kia.
Bye.